Will Detroit bounce back? Can Chicago control the division? And will Kyler Murray make it past the Modern Warfare release date? This is your NFC North predictions with the Big Score Podcast. All right, guys, NFC North, a little bit different. I think was the best division last year, right?
I mean, all four teams have winning records.
It's definitely probably the only division where all four teams can compete. Put it like that.
I agree. So we're going to start this one off with Chicago. One of the surprise teams last year. And looking at the schedule right here, I think we're pretty confident they're going to make the playoffs. I don't know, Brad. 11-6. I have an 11-6. What's your thoughts? You're giving them about 5 wins to start the season off before a little bit of a loss run. What you're seeing from them?
Yeah, I got them starting off pretty hot here. I'm a big Ben Johnson believer. I'm not super high on Caleb Williams, which I think most of the people know if y'all been following us for a little bit. But I just think that his scheme is top 2 in the league as far as offense goes. Their defense was very opportunistic last year. They got a bunch of turnovers, which just creates more opportunity for Ben Johnson to do his thing on the offensive side of the ball. They didn't really have any big player losses as far as departures go, in my opinion. I know DJ Moore walked, but I think that was all part of, everybody stepping up, everybody with the emergence of Romo Dunze, Luther Bird, and Colston Loveland. That was just another mouth to feed. I hate the word like that because I think DJ Moore is talented, but they just didn't need him with the way his offense is run. I still see him putting up plenty of points. They should compete for first place in this division, as much as I don't think that they are going to win the division outright, but they should very well continue what they did last year. The only thing that I do have on them is that their strength, they have one of the hardest strength schedules in the league. They are a good team, so I don't think it's going to make that big of an issue, but to go from I think last year they had the 7th or 8th easiest to I think this year's the 31st, which means it's almost the hardest in the league. I think I think that's worth a loss or two. So, as far as that goes, and I don't just see their defense creating or leading the league in turnovers again. I think it's rare for a team to do that twice in a row. I just don't see it happening. And I think that helped their offense a lot with a lot of short fields. But the main thing is I want to see if Caleb Williams can actually progress as a quarterback. We haven't seen it yet. He still kind of pulls off a lot of schoolyard BS type plays, which makes the highlight reels, but there's a lot of stuff in between where if you watch the games, you're kind of scratching your head man, it's kind of like a rookie mistake type stuff.
Yeah.
But that's how I view him. I just think the talent and the coaching staff is enough there to get him in the double-digit win category.
No, I completely agree with that. Dan's got a partner.
That's right.
No, I completely agree with you there. I think the defense. I struggle to get them to 11 wins, to be completely honest. I almost landed where Dan was at 10-7. I actually originally had them at 9-8. After I started to go through everybody's schedules again, after my first pass, they were at 9-8, and then I started going through my schedule again and looking at everybody's different wins and losses, and I ended up giving them 11 wins. While the team could easily have that opportunistic defense, I think that the offense is going to carry this team, and I don't think it's Caleb Williams that's going to carry this team. I think it's Ben Johnson and his creativity that's going to carry this team. I agree with you, Brad. Caleb Williams is not he's a very talented quarterback, but he's not a very good NFL quarterback.
He's not.
He does a lot of no. He does not. And I think if Ben Johnson had a more talented, from an efficiency standpoint, quarterback, I think this team would probably win 13 or 14 games. That's how much talent they have around them. I don't know, Dan. You're sitting there kind of wishy-washy in the beginning, and then all of a sudden they get streaky at the end. How you feeling about it?
I mean, Ben Johnson, y'all both talked about him. He's a fantastic coach. He gets everybody on the team, not just the offense, but he just seems like a good overall head coach. Obviously, great offensive scheme. Caleb may not be able to run the NFL offense, but Ben Johnson lets him play some schoolyard ball, have some guys.
Got you.
Sorry.
It's all good.
She's telling me she locked me out my phone and she's proud of herself. Yeah, but that defense won't lead the league in turnovers. Kobe Bryant's out, I think, for the year. Or close to it. I don't have to give him a full timeline yet. But he was a big acquisition that now he's not going to be back there. They have Dylan Tiananmen that they brought, they drafted. So he'll help out that secondary, but not going to be, a ton of turnovers. And that's going to, lead to a couple where they stole some wins last year. They're not going to steal a couple wins this year. They'll start off, wishy-washy like we talked about, but they're really talented. They can beat good teams, but they can lose to some bad teams. So again, we'll see some of those random losses. But if Caleb Williams gets together, like look at the middle of the season, right around their bye week, I think they can string a lot of wins together. But yeah, end of the season, losing 3 of 4. It's a tough schedule. 3 divisional games and against Buffalo. So that's a division right there.
Yeah, it's tight.
All these teams will be fighting for it.
I agree.
Yeah, we all have them struggling at the end of the season. That's probably how we got to these 11-10 wins. Is I've got them going 2-2. Dan has them going 1-3, and Brad, you have them going 2-2. We really don't actually agree on any of them. All agree on where they're going to go this way, but they're definitely showing that they're not going to just win out and run into the playoffs with the division championship and a major winning streak. So
them last 4 teams are too strong to go 4-0 at the end right there.
Yeah. Definitely. So we're going to move on to Detroit now, and Brad, I think this might be your NFC 1 seed. I mean, I haven't done everything. I don't want to break any news or anything like that with this one, but 13-4, and look at the middle of that season. You just got them finishing out with only 1 loss after week 9.
Yeah, I got them going out strong. When I looked at their schedule compared to the rest of that division, they got the 6th easiest schedule in the league this year, and then the Vikings. Well, we'll get to the other teams, but they have Lions have the 6th easiest schedule. Everybody else in that division has the 22nd or worse, which means or harder. So everybody else has got a much tougher schedule than these guys do. The Lions are probably the team with the most continuity in that division. They return the most starters. They're solid. You know what they're getting. A lot of their top defenders missed games last year, so if they can be healthy, I think their defense is going to be a whole lot better. Plus, I think they're going to finally find their way back after losing those 2 coordinators. I think they're going to start clicking a little bit better. But yeah, I think they're the best and most complete team in the division. I really like their head coach. A lot of people are giving him a little bit of flack this offseason with the departures. They're all saying, a lot of them are saying is Dan Campbell was the 2 coordinators making him look good. But I think he's just a great leader. So I think he will find a way to get back to that relevancy and to be top of the division.
Yeah, he's a good coach, and they have a great offense. Even if you don't love their play caller, they have talent all over the place. They have a good offensive line. Jared Goff can put the ball in the hands of anybody on that they're running out there. Tesla, Jameson, Amon-Ra, Laporta, Jahmyr Gibbs. I don't know if Pacheco's going to do a whole bunch. He's ripping them, man.
Poor guy.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I don't know if Pacheco's going to do a bunch, but if he needs to come in, he can get some yards on the ground. That offense is really good. I know their defense, they need to shore up that secondary a bit, but they should still be a good team. That offense can hang with anybody. They're going to be a tough out. And Dan Campbell, again, he gets those guys to play. Even when everything went bad last year, they finished last in the division with a winning record.
That sucks.
Their defense is hurt. Like, dude, last year was a bad year, and they still won 9 games. They can easily win 3 extra games this year.
No, I don't disagree with any of that. My only concern, and you kind of touched on it, was the play caller. They have the talent, all the talent in the world, but with even with all the talent in the world, if you have the keys in the wrong hands of the driver, they're going to drive it off a cliff. I just want to see him prove that, they can actually be. Wait, what?
No, I was just saying it's not like they were bad. I mean, they still put up points. No.
Of course. I mean, look, I really haven't started 4-1. I'm going into the bye week. I mean, obviously that's dictated a lot on their schedule. I mean, they're playing 3 bad teams, 1 good team, and 1 we'll see team. I do have them losing to the Saints. I do think that's going to be a shocker in week 1. A lot of people are going to pick Detroit to beat the Saints. I think the Saints are going to come out and beat them on the road. But I see them, getting all the way to week 12 with 8 wins, which is going to be really good. And 10-7, again, may not make the playoffs. I got to see how the rest of the schedule falls out for the rest of the teams. But I could easily see them winning 12 games and being one with y'all. It landed like this. Go ahead.
I was just saying. I just noticed, you got them like falling hard at the end of the year right there, man.
Correct. I think getting toward the end of the year, they're going to have injuries stacking up on themselves. They're going to go, they just look at the game. You got New England, Tampa, and Chicago. I'm not very high on Tampa, but New England and Chicago are really hard games. And then you have them going to Atlanta, which I don't really see Atlanta being a hotbed team. But in Atlanta, they may have, 3 or 4 fans in the stands that might rattle Detroit a little bit. I think Tennessee is a drop the ball game.
I was about to say.
I think that's a I got to play the Vikings, the Giants, the Bears, and the Packers to end the season. And I don't really care about the Titans because it's an AFC opponent. That's really not going to make any difference to any of my ways to a championship. But I just see the way they end the season. They just end the season 2-4, and that may drop them out of the playoffs.
Yeah. It's a tough division, man. Like we said, it's probably one division where all 4 teams can compete,
Mm-hmm. No, definitely. 13-4 though, I feel like you may be a little too high, Brad, but we're gonna see how the season goes. You may have been drinking a little bit too much of that Dan Campbell juice.
Hey man, we're buying kneecaps.
Green Bay. This is where I flip, and I think I'm really high on Green Bay going into this season.
You're eating way too much cheese.
Hey, cheese is good, and I'm not lactose intolerant.
You've been constipated like a sunbit.
No, I'm just really high on Green Bay. I think this is the year where they break free from that mediocrity over the last 4 years. They do have an 11-6 record. 11-6 was that in 2024. But other than that, they've really lost 7 games more times than not in the past 5 years. So I think this year they're going to break free. I know Michael Parsons coming back from that knee injury. Hopefully he's healthy and can get it most of the season in, if not all of it. But I see them being a very good team. I think Jordan Love finally proves why he was paid all that money. And also, I know you said their schedule is one of the harder schedules, but looking at it, they have a lot of streaks of easy teams.
Yeah.
Or at least what we suspect to be easy teams. So, and they do, and obviously they are going to steal a couple games. Have them stealing the Rams game on the road. That's a big game. That's going to be a big game for them, as well as Dallas on the road, which I think I'm really high on Dallas this year. So I think Dallas is going to be a pretty good football team. But I don't know, Brad. You got really streaky over here. 3 wins, 2 losses, 4 wins, 4 losses, 3 wins, 1 loss. I mean, that's just streaky as hell.
Yeah,
what you got
it is. I agree with you. I mean, they're a good team. Look, I've said it all the time. Green Bay, they just pencil it in. They're gonna win 10 games. They have games where they fall flat on their face, and then they have ones where they look like, man, this is a Super Bowl contending team. But if Parsons comes back healthy, obviously that was a big loss for them last year. So they definitely need him to be the focal point in that defense and to create pressure and possibly generate turnovers from that. But I do have him being streaky. Right before the bye week, I have him losing to Minnesota, division game. I think I'm a little bit higher on Minnesota than both y'all. We'll get to that in a second. But then I have them going into the bye week, and then they come out in what I think is a gauntlet. Obviously, I don't think they're going to beat the Rams. I don't think they're going to beat the Bills. I have the Saints in there just because that might be a little homer pick, but whatever. If y'all don't like it, I don't care.
Hey, look, both you and Dan picked them. I'm interested to see y'all Saints schedules because you both picked them to beat Green Bay, which we've talked about that being a hard stretch for the Saints.
It is a hard stretch for the Saints, but I looked at them coming off that bye week to travel to Los Angeles. That's not going to be fun, and then they're going to have to continue that road, trip to come to us.
Yeah. And then you got Buffalo right after that.
Yeah, so it's like, we're back home. Guess what? Oh, you got to play Josh Allen. And they're like, shit, I mean, and they're like, but
he's used to the cold too. It's not like
exactly
like it's going to affect him.
No,
exactly. I probably would have had it different if we had to go there. We're not a very good cold team as far as history goes. But
still, it's only a November game. It'll be cold, but not freezing.
It won't be freezing, no. But I mean, down here, cold for us is like under 85. So
that's true.
But yeah, Dan, you're sitting there at 10-7 with them too. Like you and Brad didn't really copy each other this time. I'll give you all credit. You actually sat down and did your homework.
The defense without Micah to start the year isn't going to be great, but thankfully they have an easier schedule, kind of in that front part of the season. Yeah, they have, might drop a game against the Vikings. It's just a divisional game. Vikings should be pretty good. That defense is great. And we still don't know who's going to step up on the Packers offense. We talked about their number one probably just being their tight end, as opposed to any of the receivers that they paid, and who really knows with them. So the offense doesn't feel great. They're all good. I think Love's a talented quarterback. He got paid a ton because he's a good quarterback, and you have to pay him. But I don't think he's a great quarterback. I don't think they have any great receivers. I like Josh Jacobs a lot. He's really good, but he's not, doesn't have any breakaway speed. That feels like Jaden Reed's their guy that can do a lot, but he's not going to do it consistently. So the offense worries me a little bit. The defense without Parsons worries me a little bit. They're all good enough. They'll be a good team. But again, that feels like it's going to be streaky. They're going to have they'll figure something out and win a few games, and then something will happen, and they just will have a hard time getting back over the hump. Again, their schedule's hard. Like y'all both have them beating Dallas and Detroit back to back. I think that's 2 early losses, and then coming out that bye week is brutal. We've talked about it. Going to Los Angeles, going to New Orleans, and then you get a little bit reprieve by going home, but it's Josh Allen. So that's tough. You'd want to switch, and if Miami came first and then Buffalo, maybe they get 2 wins there. But having Buffalo first, I think that just makes it a little harder. But you get to end the season against Miami.
Yeah, Dan.
They have to finish the last 2 games against the Texans and Lions. Those are 2 must-win games if they want to have a chance at the playoffs.
Well,
So I think they, again, they're a good enough team. They should show up and be competitive in those games. Both games they can win. But I think there's just too much damage done earlier in the season to be fighting for the division at that point.
Yeah, no, definitely agree.
Sorry.
You're high on them and everybody, Javid.
I am.
Why are you drinking that Kool-Aid? You believe in Tucker Kraft that much? The emergence.
Tucker Kraft, wide receiver 1.
He is wide receiver 1 on that team because their wide receiver 1's going to be having the top seat in the blue tent for most of the year.
Dang! Don't hate on Christian Watson like that. He's a
look, he is super talented. He just can't stay healthy.
He can't stay healthy.
Him and Jordan Tyson cut from the same cloth.
Oh, whoa. Christian Watson wishes he could be Jordan Tyson.
All right. Let's stick with my bad. Got off.
Yeah, no, you're good. Speaking of streaks, you got streaks in their underwear over here. Minnesota. I am down on them, and it has nothing to do with Kevin O'Connell. I think Kevin O'Connell is a top 5 head coach in the NFL.
That's why I'm high on him.
I am not high on them. You threw that in there. I am not high on them because their quarterback situation is atrocious. I just don't see how that team with those 2 quarterbacks are going to get to more than 5 wins. I like Flores and his defense, and I think if they do end up getting to 7 or 10 wins, how y'all have them, it's only because of him, and the quarterbacks will have played them into losses that the defense saves them from. I'm just not high on. I mean, Kyler Murray can't see over the offensive line, and I don't understand why they drafted J.J. McCarthy in the first round. He's not a first-round quarterback.
No, I don't know what
so I got the makings, and there's not really any rhyme or reason here. It's the makings of a bad team, and that just leads to consistent losing over a longer period of time. But I don't know, Dan, you're kind of in the middle here. 7
I've talked about this Vikings defense all summer and other segments we've talked about them, whether it was fantasy or joking around saying who would you pick if you had to start a team and would you pick their defense or Justin Jefferson. Y'all talk about Justin Jefferson ad nauseum. I mean, he's the best receiver in the league. This defense is what carries this team. So did it last year. J.J. McCarthy, he got hurt, but not that he looked good, but they had backup quarterbacks. They had Carson Wentz. I think they had Brosmer. Is that his name? They had other guys in there that still they somehow got a winning record. And a better record than the Lions did. I am not high on Kyler Murray. I think he can win them some games, but their schedule is also a little bit harder this year. Their defense will have them in every game. Kyler's going to trip up to some wins. I really think they just should have rolled with JJ. He hasn't started enough games to give up on him yet. Mm-hmm. And this defense can win in the game, so why not have JJ go out and prove whether or not he is their quarterback going forward? Because is Kyler the future there? I doubt it. They should see what JJ can do. And I think at some point he will get to start again. Maybe after that 5-game losing streak in the middle of the season, we'll see him come back. Not positive about it. That's not, I wouldn't say that's why they beat Atlanta. I just think that's a winnable game, and that kind of rights the ship for him. And gives them some hope going towards the playoff push. But at the end of the season, they have a lot of tough opponents. But yeah, that middle of the schedule is just brutal for them. Coming out that bye week, that is not how an early bye week, and then you want to get a win right after that. I don't see a win for them for a while.
Yeah, no, that is not conducive of consistent winning with those teams all locked in a row. But Brad disagrees because during that stretch, he's got them going 3-2.
Y'all know. Like y'all said, I think that defense is more underrated than what people give him credit for. On the contrary, I know y'all are low on Kyler Murray. I'm not as low as y'all are on him. I think he's an upgrade from J.J. McCarthy's talent, strictly due to his athleticism.
I think we're pretty even keel on him. I mean, he's pretty low to the ground.
He's pretty low. Yeah. I mean, he is. He's shorty for sure. But I think he does bring the rushing aspect, which can make that offense just a little bit more dynamic.
That is fair.
But I think that one of the main things on their offense is they just need to get Justin Jefferson the ball more, whoever that may be. And I do think that Kyler Murray's passing attack is an upgrade from what J.J. McCarthy could do. But I also like what Dan said about it. Like, JJ didn't get enough opportunities to see exactly what you have, especially if you burn a first-round pick on him. I think you needs to see what he could, maybe accomplish with another offseason under his belt to learn. But as you touched on, that defense is going to carry this team as long as the Vikings can put up a few points on offense. I think that the defense is going to get them those wins. That's why I have them a little bit higher than y'all do.
Yeah, and to be looking at all of our records, honestly, I can see them because of their defense. I can see them going 7-10, 10-7. So I can think y'all's records are most likely the most likely outcome. I just think the wheels come off with these quarterbacks, and Flores can't carry the team. And this will give KOC a chance to get his quarterback. But I'll say this: the last time he had that chance, he picked the wrong one. So maybe he'll just screw it up again.
He let two walk that had major success where they went, as far as taking over their respective teams each. I mean, one of them freaking won the Super Bowl.
So the way the division seems to roll out now, y'all both have Detroit in first, where I'm differentiating with the Green Bay there. But we all agree that Chicago is going to finish in second. A little bit difference of opinion on records, but generally they're going to land at second. And then we disagree again with third. We all have 3 different teams in third place. And fourth place, me and Dan both see the Vikings finishing out toward the bottom, whereas you got the Packers finishing 10-7. Brad, do you think all 4 of those teams are going to make the playoffs, being that they're all having a winning record?
It's the only division where I think it could happen. Yeah, it's a very good possibility. I don't think it's either all 4 of them are going to make it or only 2 is going to make it, and that's just because of the way the other divisions fall out. But I do think that all 4 can have a winning record again. I think that the teams are that deep and that good. But it'll be interesting to see. Like I said, Packers always seem like they're going to Packer. They're going to get 10 wins. I don't know. They're like stuck at that number, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I do think Detroit runs away with it. You'll have to stay tuned to see if I have them as my number 1 overall. But I think Detroit is going to run away with it.
Phew, if you don't have Detroit as your number 1 overall, who's winning 14 games?
Might have to stick around. Might be.
No. Oh, Dan, where are you sitting there to wrap this one up at the NFC North?
Yeah, like Brad just said, the Lions are running away with it. Maybe not running as fast as Brad has them, but they should be winning this division. Bears are a good team, but still young, going to have some ups and downs. I think how it shakes out, they may be a playoff team, maybe not. I have, again, not trying to spoil anything, but I do have some other teams with 10 wins. You'll have to play with that tiebreaker scenario, just like we do with the AFC North. For a lot of these NFC teams, there's a lot of good teams. Like we said, the AFC is top heavy. The NFC has a lot of teams that are really good, and they're going to beat each other up. You can see a lot of teams with double-digit wins. They're in that 10-win, 11-win range that, a few of them aren't going to make it. So we'll see how it shakes out. But yeah, this all of them could finish with a winning record. I think if anybody doesn't have a winning record, it'll just be the Vikings because of their quarterback situation. The other 3 seem a little bit more steady in that position.
Yeah, I think my rankings are pretty much straightforward here. 12, 11, 10. We'll have to see where Detroit lands with their playoff hopes at 10-7 once we get to those playoff brackets. But yeah, that'll bring it to the end of the NFC North division. If you stuck around, please like and subscribe and continue watching as we go through each division.